Morning, folks. Just got a quick one today. I want to take a quick look at this article on the gunslinger Dreadnought, the Ballistus. Now, we saw the Ballistus's data sheet not that long ago in one of the earlier reveals, so this article is not about that. It's more about the model and the history of it, and being a very, very old-time Warhammer player before a very, very long hiatus, I kind of wanted to take a trip down memory lane real quickly, so let's get right into it. So, the Ballistus Dreadnought here is the twin las cannon, which, if we look back at the thing, is not, in fact, the twin-linked weapon. It's the Ballistus las cannon, which is a two-shot weapon. And it has the missile launcher over here, the mecha anime Robotech-looking missile launcher on the other side. And this is a really classic Dreadnought weapons combination. So what it harkens back to here is this guy. And most people have probably seen a picture of this Dreadnought at some point. This was the Dreadnought that came out when the Codex Angels of Death came out, which had both the Dark Angels and the Blood Angels way back in 2nd edition. Now, I remember when this came out, this kit came out, and I bought one of these because the Dark Angels became my second army. I started off with what is now called a Craft Worlds army. Back then it was just called Eldar, and I had a pretty extensive collection. I had been playing for about a year and a half, and I decided it was time for a second army. And I really liked Dark Angels. Now, at that time, everyone at the game club that we played at in college, the student union, it seemed like everybody went to Dark Angels. And it had kind of gone like that. For a while, it was Imperial Guard just all over the place. And then I think it was Tyranids were pretty common for a while as codexes came out. Now, my friend, he played Blood Angels. He was the rare guy that chose to go with the Blood Angels. He was a better painter than me. I thought his Blood Angels looked so cool. I almost considered starting a Blood Angels army too, but being a poor college student, I couldn't. Even back then, Warhammer was quite expensive. Not as expensive as today, but prices overall were lower. Notice the square base, by the way. I don't remember the thing having a square base, but maybe it did. Anyhow, both of those armies are long, long lost to me. I gave them up when I left college. I didn't think, going into the Army as a commissioned officer, I didn't think I would have time to play anymore. Things didn't work out quite that way. I quickly discovered that Dark Eldar had gotten released, and now Drakari, and I got sucked back into it for a brief period there when I was stationed at Fort Hood, and then I made another couple of attempts at about every 5 years or so. About 2005, I bought some new Craft Worlds, which I still have. They are part of my now much more extensive redone Craft World. Sorry about smacking the mic there. Redone Craft Worlds army. And then about 2010, when we first moved to Texas, actually, no, more like probably about 2012. I tried again. Got back to it, played about one game. And then it kind of sat dormant until, ironically, right before COVID. And then it became a great COVID project to build up all these armies. But anyhow, this thing was really considered awesome at the time. Everybody wanted this thing. And what was really great was you also had the Blood Angels Dreadnought and the Space one, and you could interchange the different parts. So you could get, say, a Furioso Dreadnought, which I think had the Multi-Melta and the Power Fist, and you could say, put the Power Fist on this thing with the las cannon, and then put the missile launcher on the other side with the Multi-Melta. Or you could get the space. I think it was the generic Dreadnought had the assault cannon, and you could put maybe the assault cannon with the missile launcher and the Power Fist with the las cannon. Or you could mix and match the arms, no problem. Now the front here was going to be a little different, so you'd have to just paint it and kind of overlook the fact that it didn't look quite right. And these were metal. This thing was heavy. This was a pewter model. It was very heavy. It probably weighed almost 5 pounds, if I recall right. I'm not 100% sure, but it was a very heavy model. But the thing was, though, back in 2nd edition, it was hard to understand because the game was really first coming into its own and becoming widely popular in the gaming community. Game mastery in the community wasn't great. So all we saw was, oh man, a Dreadnought with twin las cannon and a missile launcher. These are high strength, high powered weapons. These are great. Well, the twin las cannon was pretty great. What we never quite grabbed onto was the missile launcher, despite its formidable appearance, sucked. And the missile launcher has had a long run of being sort of the default, was always the one you found in the generic tactical squad boxes. You'd see them in Devastator squads in the examples from Games Workshop, that sort of thing. And on here, it looks like it should fire a whole bunch of shots. No, the fact that it only ever fired one shot was a little bit rough. Now, the frag missile was maybe a little bit more effective because you could hit multiple targets back when you used blast templates, and now you get potentially multiple shots with it in 9th edition. And it can be reasonably effective against light infantry, but the crack missile would inevitably disappoint you because you're almost always hitting on a 3 and wounding on a 3. If you're hitting and wounding on a 3, you only have a 44% chance of even getting to the armor save roll, and then they're likely to save you. So missile launchers have been a perpetual source of disappointment. Not that long ago, I played against an Alpha Legion player who had Havoc squads that had 4 missile launchers in them, and his missile launchers just did not come through. But it was a really, really cool looking model for a long period of time. Everybody liked it. I really wish it'd come with banners like this, because nobody knew how to make these and make them look that good, and we all wanted them. So you'd see tons of these Dreadnoughts with this big, tall banner pole up here on the top, and no banner. They got a lot of end comments, by the way, in the end of those, so we're going to take a look at those in a second. But this guy was just everybody's favorite. This is, I think, a later version that's supposed to be Black Templar. Sorry, not thinking of Dark Angels. Nice paint scheme on this. This guy was just a classic, and everybody just went crazy over it. Anyhow, nowadays we have the Ballistus, which is this thing blown up to Redemptor Dreadnought size, which is pretty large. I don't own one yet. I do have a Redemptor, of course. I got into my Salamanders fairly late in 9th edition. They're my second to last army. I do have a Custodes force, which is smaller. After that, you don't need a lot of Custodes. And I did get a Redemptor. Never got into the 3 Redemptors Dreadnought thing that some people did. I have one of the melee Dreadnoughts, who's I am drawing a blank, having a senior moment here. The one with the claws and the twin multi-meltas. But I don't have this guy. I don't think anybody has one, other than maybe some early samples they've sent out to people. I don't know how excited I am about this one compared to the others. I am not that inclined as a Salamanders player towards Dreadnought as essentially a artillery platform or a long-range fires platform. If I do, I'm going to continue to use the Venerable Dreadnought, which is not leaving the range. That's going to become my sniper. You'll have the twin lance cannon a lot of times, or maybe the plasma cannon, and then you'll have the fist on the other side. And I have Briar Thashmantle, and I may have to modify him. I might keep him a while for Legends, because he was always overcosted for competitive play, but he may end up getting modified into with an assault cannon and the claw maybe, and becoming another up-close Venerable Dreadnought. We'll see. But this guy, I do, however, like how the model looks. It looks really good. It looks really formidable. It has these supplementary guns. These are great because you can shoot into melee. So even though it doesn't have melee weapons, you can clear out stuff that is in melee with you very effectively with these Storm Bolters. Let's take a look at his data sheet again one more time. Now, the Ballistus missile launcher, this overcomes the biggest weakness of the missile launcher, which is not enough shots. It's AP0 on the Strength 5 AP0 on the frag with 2d6 shots. You're going to average 7, and crack is Strength 10, AP -2. So this is going to be fairly effective against vehicles. It's going to have a very swingy damage profile. Not a lot of AP, but enough to punch through with some reliability. You're not going to tear up the world with the crack launcher still, but the fact that it has 2 shots is a gigantic, gigantic improvement for this thing on base, which it needed. And when you keep in mind the fact that now the Marines are going to have the Oath of Moment, that's going to help a lot. I think that the play with the Ballistus Dreadnought is going to be shooting at Oath of Moment targets. Now, if you're using the frag, less of a concern. This is going to do pretty well. Average of 7 shots. Let's say you're shooting at Battle Sisters, averaging 7 shots, hitting on a 3 so you get 44% of those. So let's say 3 of those 7 shots are going to get through, and they're going to save on a 3 up. So you're going to reliably kill a Battle Sister every shot with this thing. That doesn't seem like a lot, but if it's your Oath of Moment target and you're rerolling all those, then that could be a lot better. And a lot of times Battle Sisters come into small squads. But this is just right in line with the reduced lethality of the game. We shouldn't be just wiping entire units off the board with this. It's going to reliably chip away lighter infantry with the frag, and the crack has a decent chance of slamming through a big hit on a major target. The last cannon is based. This is what we all know and love. It's the what used to be the twin link glass cannon. It has D6+1. That's going to help overcome the swinginess a little bit. AP -3 is plenty. Strength 12. So you're going to be wounding the toughest vehicles out there that I'm aware of so far on 4s. Not bad. Wounding all the other vehicles on 3s. And if you're shooting this at heavy infantry like custodians, you're going to be wounding on a 2. You really couldn't ask for much more. And the twin storebolt with the twin link, yeah, pretty reliable anti-infantry fire. And at close range, something gets up close, rapid fire 2. You're getting your extra shots in there. That's solid. And your melee is really not bad either. You 5 attacks, weapon skill, 3 up, strength 7. No AP, of course, but you're backing this up with your twin store bolters and maybe your last cannon or crack missile shots. Getting in close to this thing is not going to be any neat feat. I think this thing is overall, it's a very worthy successor to our classic back here. It's really gonna feel like a solid, worthy successor. And the box knots are not going away. You can still play them as venerable dreadnoughts. You can play them as some of the other specialty types. So if you have a box knot, maybe just think about adding a little more detail on the paint scheme, and you're going to play it as the slightly better venerable dreadnought, which, in my mind, they should be venerable. They're the old firstborn dreadnoughts that have been around for millennia, whereas these big guys, these are Primaris dreadnoughts. And let's look at our little cute comments at the end. They really went with the cowboy analogy with this thing, which sadly the hero found the circa is so badly injured they can either wear a cowboy hat or hold a toothpick in their teeth. If somebody would put a cowboy hat on the top of one of these, that would be awesome. Well, the Dark Angel's Dreadnought was excellent long range, so heavy because it recommends that it can also be used as a paperweight. Yes, it definitely can. I don't know about a paperweight, more like ballast for the strike cruiser. It was. I wouldn't say it was excellent at long range. It was always kind of overrated. You didn't have enough shots and get enough hits in there reliably to get the results you thought you were going to get back in 2nd edition. But they weren't terrible. And in venerable mode, if you're playing it as venerable dreadnought, yeah, that 2-up hit that really helped a lot. Think of these as the Dreadnought Derringer, the 2 Stormbolters. Okay, I'm more of a Red Dead Redemption player. I play that a lot. Should do some videos on that. So I'll think of them more as the throwing knives. And who knew the Dreadnought is something in common with a toddler? Yeah, that it likes to stomp its feet if anything gets too close. More like stomping its feet if it doesn't get its way. Unfortunately, we saw this thing get abused pretty badly in the trailer for 10th edition. Didn't get their chance to really show off. They were a little too eager, I think, to show off the Tyrants. The same thing befell the Librarian. He got killed just a little too quickly. I would have liked to see them show off at least a little bit more before they die. But yeah, this will be cool. I don't know how quickly I'll get one because I just don't think I will play it that often. I'm going to play Venerable Dreadnoughts if I want long-range ones. But I think that those people who get the model will be happy with the model, and it will definitely have its place. So anyhow, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment down below, and click the notifications bell for more great content from Wilderness Wargaming. Not too long in the future, I have 2 weeks of annual training coming up, so I'm going to be doing some pre-made videos. We'll probably slow down the publication a little bit during that. I'll be back for about 2 weeks at home, and then I will be taking my family on vacation. We're going hiking in the Ozarks, and then we're going to be doing some other fun wilderness stuff out there after that. And we're going to make some videos while we're out there that we'll bring back and publish afterwards, so you can get a little more into that. And we are also, in the intervening time, going to catch up with these faction focus articles. Come out with a few more food videos. Expect for 4th of July, we are going to do a fantastic pork butt recipe. So please look forward to that, and I will see you again very soon.